Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Gem and the Holograms? Yes, here we are again, back on that Gem train a-rollin'. We are the Can We Talk About podcast, and we have come crawling back, Kristen, to Season 2 of Gem after another trip to Movie Land.
Crawling back sounds accurate. It's like, oh god, please, finally.
After what Grease 2 did to us and being buried alive and shit, and it's good to be back.
We got our feelings hurt by a lot of movies.
We are a podcast that bride carries you through the wonderful world of entertainment with a special focus on one certain neon nightmare, that one special pastel phantasm. It is that most air quotes classic of 80s cartoons, Kristen. It is Gem and the Holograms. I am codename Sidewinder. My name is Joe.
I am codenamed California Mountain Snake. I'm Kristen.
I thought you were going to go with Cottonmouth there.
I think I personally identify with Daryl Hannah more. I am not yet to the level of comparing myself to Lucy Liu.
And we are experiencing Gem and the Holograms via Shep Factory's Gem and the Holograms Truly Nutrageous Complete Series box set and the wonderful world of Netflix, Kristen. Have you ever had a Nutrageous, Kristen?
No!
I don't even know what they are. They're a candy bar. Are they like paydays?
Oh, I just assumed that was a word you made up.
No, Nutrageous is a candy bar.
They should have renamed it.
Kristen, what can you tell us about Netflix this week?
Our friend Madeline is coming over today, and we're going to start watching a series of unfortunate events.
I was going to start watching that too, because I was going to ask you about that, because I was like, oh, I know you enjoy that.
Considering the author, Daniel Handler, is, I guess executive producing or something on this. He, wrote the teleplay. It is way more true to the tone of the original books, which is nice. I've caved and watched the first episode so far.
Already? Alright, that's good. That's the thing, because I when that was announced, I was like, oh, that might be interesting, even though I've never read any of those books, so,
I feel like you would like it. Then again, I just assume that you would like everything that I like.
True. I have gotten to the point on Netflix now where I'm alternating episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space Nine because I'm watching in broadcast order, and they played at the same time near the end.
They did that with Buffy and Angel. I also started watching The Crown, but not enough drama is happening, so I kind of fell off that for a little while.
It wasn't that critically acclaimed?
I don't know. Matt Smith is in it. He freaked me out. He was one of the first people I saw, and I was like, it's that guy.
Oh, the Doctor.
Oh no, put him away.
Our return to Gem, Kristen, will have a bit more flash this week, as our episode is titled Music is Magic. It is one of the first two magician-themed episodes, which is kind of hilarious considering the second one has a lady that was meant to become a doll, so I guess this one here was a test run for magic? I don't know.
It turns out magic rates big with the audiences. This episode sucks.
This episode does suck. 2 magic episodes, 0 Christmas episodes, but then again...
Gem is secular.
I was going to say, are Christmas episodes in cartoons common?
Well, as someone who does not watch too many cartoons.
Maybe in the 80s they weren't. I don't know. It's one of those things where it feels weird to... Maybe they never played during Christmas? I don't know.
I think a holiday episode might be a thing. I don't have any insight on Christmas episodes, unfortunately.
Damn. Oh well. Well, anyway, I don't want to knock Paul Dini either, because I like the guy, but this episode sucks. So,
yep.
Let's fucking hit that stupidity head on, this suckacity head on.
Music is magic.
We start off, Kristen, written by Paul Dini, as I mentioned at the beginning here. I know him as a pretty prominent writer for Batman the Animated Series, including writing the episode that introduced Harley Quinn to the world.
Huh.
He also wrote the storylines for the first 2 Batman Arkham games, which are pretty good games. I like them. They're good games.
Are one of those the one where the Joker turns into the Hulk at the end?
Yes.
Then I'll have to take you at your word, I guess.
You need a final boss in a video game, I guess, sometimes.
I guess so. Can't just be the Joker. Gotta be Hulk Joker.
Also, Paul Dini, Kristen. Paul Dini fucking loves magic to the point of being a magician himself, marrying a magician lady, Misty Lee, who also has done a bit of voice acting. I had something that she did that we might know. Oh no, she played a character named Darlene in Dead Rising 3, who was the psychopath, who was the really fat lady who was on the buggy, and she represented gluttony, of course.
Oh, of course. Corporate America!
Dead Rising 3, not an amazing game!
Yeah, there's a reason I don't know anything about it.
Also, he really likes Zatana, the magician lady, for DC, to the point of Misty Lee looking kind of like Zatana as well, but I think that's a coincidence.
I feel like you and I have previously, off-air, discussed the fact that Paul Dini sure does sound like the name of a magician.
Almost Houdini, that old Paul Dini magic.
Oh yeah, Paul. You might know my brother Who.
Please, who was my father?
Call me
Paul.
Call me Paul? Whatever.
We start at Starlight Mansion, where Kimber is dressed as Lavender Zatana already, calling herself the Great Kimbrini, which, Kristen, I could have sworn this was the Great Kimberdini.
I could have sworn as well, but, hindsight 2020.
She's putting on a magic show for the orphans. Bonnie and Ashley are her assistants, and they're wearing, makeshift assistant turbans or something here.
Yeah, so someone is good at wrapping turbans in Starlight Mansion.
Not as good as Marla, of course.
Of course not.
They aren't confident in Kimber's abilities. Apparently she's a pretty shitty magician, Kristen.
I don't think it's very professional to condescend to your magician lady when you're an assistant, in front of the audience. Leave it for the dressing room, please.
So they lock her in a box here, Kristen, and the very first thing that came into my head was that they were going to bury Kimber alive in the grave of Paula Schultz.
Yep, and then she has to punch her way out.
But no, it doesn't quite go that way. She goes, "Oh, magic spirits, let me out of the box! Let me out of the box, magic spirits! Come on! Magic spirits, are you magic spirits? Magic spirits. Alright, so, kind of need to get out of the box here, magic spirits. You can...
How is this trick supposed to work?"
Apparently, Kimber dropped the key that she needed, and Bonnie is so kind to be like, "Oh, here it is," and then she unlocks the trunk, and when Kimber comes out, she's just like, "Presto."
Yeah, so, cool, I guess. This was to show us the key. Great job with the foreshadowing, cartoon.
I actually do like that they did show us the key here. I didn't think it would, because, it comes back. The key comes back, Kristen. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, great.
And I also chided Kimber for losing the key, because that's what you get for not wearing pants pockets, where to keep your keys.
You hussy.
The holograms arrive, and they're like, "Kimber, what the hell's going on here?"
God, every time the holograms roll up onto one other member of the holograms, it seems like they're an angry mob coming after her with 4 people.
Apparently, Kimber is concocting a trick for their music and magic special, and these tricks are harder than they look. Actually, she's conducting an act. Kimber wants to be part of the special as a magician.
Yeah, worth pointing out, no one asked her to do that.
Doing it herself, and one thing I noticed when we get to Jerica here, everybody in this episode looks horrendously off-model, Kristen.
Yep, everyone is animated terribly. It looks like they probably didn't have, storyboards or anything, because no one moves like a human.
Jem and company are going to be performing on a televised event with a ton of great magicians, and yet Jem is the only one on the goddamn poster.
And Kimber still had the gall to think that maybe she could perform a trick.
Ashley holds up the poster for everyone. It's just, music and magic special, and it's got Jem on it.
Someone definitely goes, "Wow, beautiful, great poster." Calm the fuck down.
And Bonnie is like, "Oh, can I go to Magic Island with you?"
And unsurprisingly, Aja laughs and goes, "No."
Only performers and stagehands are allowed on Magic Island, Bonnie.
Which is clearly shown to be false later, but whatever.
The orphans promise to watch instead, and Ashley, not taking any inventory of Jem's past events, is just like, "This is going to be the greatest show Jem has ever put on!"
You have to be constantly topping yourself, and then, once you keep topping yourself, where do you end up?
Hope you like setting the bar high. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch you fall and replace you up on that marquee, Jem. Ashley and the Starlights.
It zooms in on the poster in Ashley's hands, and then zooms out, and there's a dramatic music sting, and someone's hands rip up the poster, which I'm guessing, is this supposed to be Marla?
It could be anyone, honestly. When I first watched this, because I couldn't remember exactly, the sequence of events in the episodes, it faded out to someone ripping the poster, and I was like, okay, I guess we fade into a day in Pizzazz's life, and then we fade right back out.
Yeah, we don't come back to that, but yeah, it's, intrigue at the Indy 500, wow, woo.
Ooh, intrigue at the Magic 500.
Jem and company are greeted at Magic Island by Sid, who is the director, so already... Yeah, performers and stagehands. Okay, Aja.
Yeah, you liar.
Everybody all has their pastel magician outfits on and their cool...
If the real rule was no orphans allowed, they should have just said no orphans allowed.
You see, magicians, they're terribly classist against orphans.
Absolutely.
Jem calls Sid a terrific director, and Sid awkwardly turns this into an introduction for the terrific Devon Silverstone.
I kept thinking that he was just Eric.
I refer to him as Brunette Rio with a cape.
Every time I saw him in the background, I'm like, yeah, there's Eric. And then I was like, no, it's not Eric, it's the guy.
It's that guy with the staff.
He just drew his hair exactly the same.
He walks right up to Jem and is just like, oh, finally, a performer who can match the magnitude of my own talents.
It's awkward, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, Jem's response is like, oh, thank you? Thank you, I think.
Devon says, most people call me the Magnificent, but Jem, you may call me Devon.
And he snaps his fingers and he gets a dozen roses in his hand, which he gives to Jem. And he then says, it is fated for us to dine after the show.
This is the worst. This is the worst man.
Such a smooth operator, this Devon Silverstone.
He does say he won't take no for an answer, and Jem goes, well, I have a say in this as well. And I say no.
And then he goes, oh, okay, bye.
Yep, and our awkward introductions continue.
Well, the thing happens is as Jem and Devon are having this exchange, we have Marla appearing here, a woman who's dressed like White Zatana except with a turban instead of a top hat.
Yep.
And we're not introduced to her. It takes a good 20-25 seconds before we even see who this woman is. But she's walking on stage in the middle of this conversation. She doesn't become a part of it. She just kind of stands there until it ends.
But, you know, she has the love subplot of this episode, so good for her.
Oh, does she, Kristen?
Yeah.
3 lines of the movie. 3 lines of the episode, maybe?
Uh-huh. And then they kiss at the end.
Devon says Jem should reconsider, it would be a magical evening, and then he disappears. And the holograms are all impressed, and I think Kimber is even like, oh, where did he go?
Yeah, I have to wonder. All of the magicians are doing so much casual magic that it's like, if you insert any other profession into this, when does it get overbearing?
So are you saying they're going a little too hard at trying to impress the holograms with their magic, where it's like, okay, we get it, you're a magician? I'm
saying we talk about casual gymnastics a lot. Say a gymnast were your friend, and she just, did back handsprings from room to room. It's at one point, is it like, oh right, Jesus, can you please stop, Jessica?
After a while, I would have just been like, you're gonna fucking snap your neck hitting the glass table one of these times, please stop.
So it's like, can you stop doing magic tricks in my living room? You're filling it with smoke. My couch smells like magician smoke.
Marla Martell is here. She arrives, and Jem is just like, oh, you're the famous illusionist. And she's immediately like, I would warn you, Jim Hologram, to stay against Devon's advances. I don't like being crossed, especially when it comes to men like Devon Silverstone.
And Jem is baffled, because she was like, what part of that interaction did you interpret as consensual, mutual, either?
I don't like, he's a fucking clown. Why would I like that guy?
And she says, well, you say you're not interested, but just to make sure, I'm gonna put a snake in your mouth.
She takes Jem's flowers, and she's just like, not all my tricks are illusions, I don't know why she turned into Sean Connery there for a second. So she hands...
all my tricks are illusions.
So she, magics the bouquet of flowers and hands it back to Jem, and oh no, there's a black mamba hidden in it, Kristen!
There's a black mamba in the flowers.
Jem was Bud all along.
Oh no. Our AU again.
So she drops the flowers, and the snake goes over to fucking Frickin' Frack here, which is not a cute nickname that I made for them. That is their names.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those dumb things that one of us would just say. We don't need to make up a dumb nickname for characters this time.
They already have them, and they remind me a lot, speaking of Dead Rising, of the Siegfried and Roy XPs from Dead Rising 2, where the assistant is all meek, and it actually ends up that he's harboring a ton of fucking hate for the main guy.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah. And Frick picks it up. Frick is a kind of, he's a rotund man, I would say. He's bald with a hat, balding with a hat, and very theatrical, much like the other magicians, to where he picks up the snake, and he's just like, the terrible creature!
And Frack is just kind of hanging out. He looks emaciated, so I guess Frick isn't feeding him.
Jem's response to the terrible creature line is, I don't know if you mean Snake or Marla. Snake or the Marla. Solid Snake or the Marla.
The Marla. That definitely sounds like an enemy in Metal Gear. We've stopped Marla. Marla Gear?
Frick puts the snake into his top hat and it changes into a dove. Wow. I'm so impressed.
And then the dove, can't get out of the theater and it dies.
It flies into the rafters, and then it's just like, well, what do I do now? And then it falls over and dies in the middle of the show.
Dead dove, do not eat.
Kimber goes, now that's magic! The dead dove, of course.
Okay, this episode plays real fast and loose with the definition of magic.
Kristen, there's a lot of... I don't know if I want to say it blurs the line, because that's a stupid way to put it, but there's a lot of real magic, air quotes real magic, and a lot of, I'm guessing it was these trap doors. So I don't know if they're trying to, like, have it there so it's like, oh, it might be magic. Ooh!
Was it an illusion or not? Stop being coy.
How did Devin fire magic, air quotes magic, from his staff at a tiger? How does that work?
Pew pew. Magic. Obviously.
Freck is like, I've never seen that before, Professor. What's the secret to that trick? And Frick is just like, not in front of the fans, dumbass.
And Jem says, oh no, you should know because of the rules of Magic Island. We're not fans, we're performers.
And I think magic sucks and it's for wieners.
Yep, that's why we're here, to show you that music is magic and your magic is fake bullshit.
They are here to perform. Frick is none too happy since more musical acts means his vanishing elephant trick is going to get all fucked up between two rock bands. Wait a minute, Kristen. Two rock bands?
2 rock bands?
Who could this other band possibly be, Kristen?
Well, right now we only have 2 bands in the series. So it can't be the Stingers.
Could it be the Limp Lizards, I wonder?
Nah, they're not popular enough.
Could it be Kimber and Stormer?
I think Kimber would know.
Oh, I'm such a dumb shit. It's the Misfits, of course.
Of course it's the Misfits. Yeah, about 5 different times in the beginning, the first half of this episode, some characters like, we gotta go practice, and then the thing happens. That's the way they transition scenes. They're like, no, we need to practice, though, thing.
That is exactly what happens here, yes. The first of Jem just being like, we'll think about the band later. We gotta practice our song.
Smoke grenade!
Kristen Rhea doesn't have a chair for her drum kit. She is picking up right where Shayna left off, standing up in front of her electric drums, as well with no, like, bass pedal thing for her bass drum hexagon.
She truly passed the baton.
The laughter of the Misfits fills the air as the smoke bomb flies down, and Kimber can immediately tell it's them. They all come, like, riding down on a big old moon, a David Bowie Serious Moonlight prop, and
nice.
they all look like they're wearing shinobi outfits, Kristen.
Yo, they look great. I love these outfits.
I like, they are not magician outfits in the least, but I like them.
Uh-huh. So, they're like, what the hell are you doing here? And they're like, Eric.
They hand-wave it immediately with, Eric pulled some strings to get us on the show, too. Kristen, why would Eric, with a show that has a poster that has Jem on it, like, only Jem, like, at this point, the best that he's gonna do is get, like, somebody to, like, redo 3 or 4 posters that says, and the Misfits, in, like, the bottom corner. So, why would he fucking want the Misfits to play second banana to Jem at this fucking show on Magic Island?
Joe, I hate to take the wind out of your sails.
It's a cartoon.
No.
Okay.
It's possible that this event had advertisements for the same event, but with all the different performers on them. Like a series.
Oh, no. Then how did Jem and the Holograms not know that the Misfits were gonna be there?
Because they don't care.
Song number 1 of the evening, Abracadabra.
I had a feeling you were going to slur your way through that one.
The song begins with all of the holograms knocked out, laying on a record. I'm going to say right now, Abracadabra, not a great song, Kristen.
Hey. It's not the worst song in this episode.
It's not the worst song of this episode, but goddamn, Abracadabra's a pretty rough song.
It's basically the Misfits saying, Abracadabra, we're gonna fuck you up, and then that's about it.
Instead of punching you in the face, I'm gonna throw a smoke grenade and then punch you in the face.
Yep, you'll never see my fist coming.
Abracadabra!
Boom!
They get magicked into a trunk, Kimber's trunk from earlier, actually, they reused the same asset. And then they fly into a card planet of some sort. Everything moves very fast in this song, imagery-wise, because it starts with, it looks like they're going to get crushed by a card. Stormer throws a crystal ball that turns them into all them being trapped into bubbles, so what was the point of showing them nearly being crushed by the card?
Hey Joe, did you know there are a decent amount of songs called Abracadabra already?
Oh, like the one by the Steve Miller Band, my least favorite song of all time?
Yep, also Abracadabra by Sugar Ray from 1998.
I believe that's a cover of the Steve Miller Band song.
Holy shit, I need to listen to this right now.
We had that CD.
I remember, like, 2 Sugar Ray songs.
Every morning there's a halo. Mark McGrath.
Shut the door, baby.
Pizzazz, like, swipes the bubbles back here and then turns them all into frogs with a snap of her finger. A lot of snapping of fingers going on in this song.
Magic. I really could not give less of a shit about the weird magic imagery of this music video.
Did you notice, Kristen, they did the holograms thing where, hocus pocus, something, something, see the tangled web I weave, and there's spider webs.
Yeah. Hey, here are the words that we're saying, and here's the thing. Visualized. Boom.
And then Roxy throws a bunch of caltrops at the holograms. Oh no, I'm sorry, I guess it's just magic. She's not a ninja.
No, just all magic. And frogs and...
They float off the ground, they're assaulted with magic by every misfit. They, jettisons them to a music note world. There's a tornado.
Summer has like an electric ball.
Yeah, there's a strobe light on Pizzazz. And the song ends with the holograms coughing. And the song thing, Abracadabra by the Misfits, doesn't show up until the corner of the screen until the song is actually over. Like, until we're already back to reality.
Cool, great.
So the songs are bleeding over, Kristen. The song may not have happened, but somewhere in that point in reality, it showed up. Abracadabra by the Misfits was there for, 2 or 3 seconds, and good thing there was a smoke bomb, because if Kimber saw that, it would have fucking broken the universe.
It's like the movie Chicago, where there is what is actually happening, and there is the dream vaudeville world that's inside Roxy's head.
Pizzazz promises more smoke bombs once the show starts, and then they run away in a Scooby-Doo run cycle, and it looks horrendous, Kristen.
Yep, good thing I am placated by the image of Pizzazz just shoving smoke bombs into Jem's mouth. I don't know why, that's one of my favorite visuals. It's just, oh, here's a thing that I'm being a dick about. I'm just gonna put it in your mouth.
Jem says, now is not the time to worry about the Misfits. They need to rehearse.
Nope.
Devin's here, and he's just like, hey, Jem, I want to show you a trick that'll totally win your heart. And Aj is just like, can this motherfucker please leave? He's really persistent.
Jem was like, maybe if I go along with it, he'll leave me alone.
I wonder if he can make himself disappear.
Little did Jem know that this trick would result in her death.
Kimber says she always wanted to see the vanishing lady trick of Devin's up close, so Jem should go for it. And
she goes, okay, fine.
So Devin locks her in the box and tells Jem all she needs to do is prepare to be amazed!
From inside the box. But then it explodes.
In a ball of fire, and Devin goes, that's not part of the trick!
End of segment 1, Jem exploded.
Jem splode up.
And the series is over.
Thank God.
Finally, now it's Kimber and the holograms. No, just kidding, it's Aja and the holograms.
Segment 2 starts. Aja is immediately like, why did you blow up Jem?
Why did you blow up our lead singer?
Is it because she turned you down? Because goddamn, that would be petty.
And he's like, no, fucking seriously, I did not mean for that to happen.
Silverstone the Magnificent would never stoop to such a thing.
Everyone else kind of crowds around going, hey, we heard a singer just exploded.
Once the Misfits hear that Jem has disappeared, they all start cheering, too.
It's a little callous.
Something happens here where all the holograms are like looking out at all of the crowd here now. And again, cool with the cool quality of this episode where Aja speaks with Shayna's voice and then vice versa.
Great job. Song number 2, Clue.
It could be you, Kristen. Kristen.
This might be the worst song in the entire series so far.
This song sucks.
This is the worst. There's basically no rhyming. It's a filler song. The visuals are uninteresting.
The visuals are basically all of the holograms giving stink eyes to the Misfits.
And, like, just slowly, like, sliding into frame, staring at them like, oh, you motherfucker.
It was you, wasn't it? Roxy, you who can't read, you rigged this trick.
I think it was Roxy's the only one who looks upset by the scrutiny.
Why? Pizzazz is the only one that kind of takes it in stride with like a little smirk, like, oh, I might have, where the rest of them are kind of looking uncomfortable.
Stormer does look like she is smelling something terrible.
I noticed in this portion, Kristen, someone accidentally moved Rhea's skin tone slider down, because now she just looks like radioactive Kimber.
Good. Quality control.
All of them, yes, inspect the Misfits here. Devin spins and all the rest of this is just casual magic after they look at the Misfits, where Devin spins and disappears. Frick switches his and Shanna's hats very quickly, and they are very different shades of blue. And it's another thing where the lyrics are talking about a switch, so, let's put in a thing where he switches the hats, I guess.
Yeah, like they're yelling at these people who might have made Jem disappear, and they're just still bullshitting with magic.
Marla throws a fireball that turns into a rain cloud, a physical rain cloud that gets the holograms wet.
Great.
And I noticed at this point, Kristen, someone didn't put Marla's animation cells all the way at the bottom of the frame, because I could see, like, the bottom of where the cell should be, which is a quality control.
This episode's fucking terrible.
The Misfits get locked in a cage and then disappeared by Devin. All that's left is a smoldering pile as the holograms kind of walk around like, okay, now you did it to the Misfits too. Good job, shitface, now you're even more implicated.
Except everyone comes back. I don't want to talk about this song anymore.
Marla uses, like, wind powers to blow the holograms into an open... Is Marla Storm, Kristen? Is this what we're missing here?
Joe, I don't want to talk about this song anymore.
The box spins, the Misfits come out, the holograms appear from behind a curtain made by Frick's cane, and...
Some dumb shit visuals happen and we reset at the end of the song and nothing has changed.
The song basically never happened, because yes, we jump right back to Aja saying only a real magician could have made that thing explode. What if it was just a bomb, Aja? What if they had small bombs in the stomach and witches don't exist?
Again, second time we've got the Umineko reference.
I didn't want to
Let
make
it
that
die.
joke. I didn't want to make that joke, Kristen, but I had to.
You didn't have to do anything. So...
Murder mystery, ladies and gentlemen.
Bomb mystery. It's so stupid. Like, I don't even want to go through, like, a play-by-play of this, because it's all just... You, maybe you, no, not you. Maybe, let's split up.
Basically, I mean, it boils down to Aja is looking at Frick and Frack, and Frick assures us that Frack is a fucking simpleton and could never do a magic trick ever. And they say that they have alibis because Frack was getting the props, and Frick was practicing with Marla, and Devin was on stage with us here, and the Misfits couldn't have possibly have done it, and even...
Because they would have taken credit.
Pizzazz even goes, as much as I would have liked to have fucking destroyed her, I'd just love to shake hands with whoever got rid of old pink hair.
So they were like, okay, the Misfits didn't do it, because they would be bragging about it by now.
They would be like, I did it, I killed Jem! The holograms are also under the impression that Jem wasn't, like, fucking atomized in this explosion, that she's somewhere.
No explanation of trapdoors in this one.
Shayna makes sure to let everyone know that they're still suspects, and everyone's just like, oh, well, you know, we'll help look for Jem, at least, and even the Misfits want to help. And the holograms kind of have the reaction like, huh? But Pizzazz uses pretty sound logic. If somebody is fucking killing magicians... If someone is killing musicians, they should be sticking together.
Fair enough. But then Pizzazz makes it pretty clear to everyone else, they just want to make sure Jem stays dead.
Or vanished. Or dead. Or dead vanished.
Dead vanished.
Marla, Pizzazz, and Kimber are all looking in a room together, and Marla, for some reason, is just like, oh, I know there's nothing in here, because I was just practicing in here, where, you know, even though we left, and she could have disappeared into, I don't know, whatever, fuck it.
Pizzazz starts looking behind a curtain, and, her mom comes out.
A classic Halloween witch and a devil comes out here, Pizzazz's mother and father.
Yeah, her real parents. And Pizzazz freaks out.
And she's just like, I thought you were dead, I killed you!
No.
Some smoke machine starts going off too, and Kimber is just like, well, wait a minute, those are probably illusions.
Probably maybe. Marla's like, yeah, idiot, they're mine.
I have a fucking James Bond villain projector thing here that creates very sophisticated holograms. Wait a minute. Kristen, what if they were called Jem and the Illusions?
It's not as catchy.
You know what? There should have been a rival, like how 80s cartoons love to do the, oh, I'm the evil version of you. There should have been an evil version of Jem called fucking Garnet and the Illusions.
Jim and the Illusions.
Jim and the Illusions. I'm gonna start a band called Jim and the Illusions.
Yeah, Joe and the Illusions. At least use your name. It sounds good.
Pizzazz claims that she knew that they were illusions all along, of course.
Marla's like, well, I control them through this medallion I wear, but not this time.
But something's wrong. The holodeck is malfunctioning. Oh no! Ah!
They're literally illusions. They can't hurt you. Why do they start suddenly, like, why do they become sentient?
The illusion which somehow transports Marla away, and then we get the explanation that, oh, it was probably through this trapdoor, but,
they still run away from these illusions.
Pizzazz freaks out when this happens and accidentally shoves Kimber into a sarcophagus, too.
Into an Iron Maiden.
Then Pizzazz gets spirited away by the devil, too. She's going home, Kristen.
That's beautiful.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm going back to hell.
Yeah!
The holograms arrive and get Kimber out. Kimber somehow knows that Pizzazz was taken by the illusions, even though she was locked in the sarcophagus when it happened.
She heard this detailed screaming.
She heard the Florida song.
Pizzazz narrating the situation. Dude, have we ever had a conversation on the podcast before about the way that Iron Maidens work?
I believe this is something we learned from the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, I believe, correct, which we had mentioned previously, where the Iron Maiden is, if you're on, like, a ship, and you get put in the Iron Maiden, there's all kinds of nice holes, and they hang you from, like, a certain area of the ship, so the gulls can attack you.
Ooh, I haven't heard that version. That's good, too, though.
And what is your version, Kristen?
I learned from Amnesia: The Dark Descent. in one of the torture rooms. I was for a long time, and I think a lot of people are, under the impression that the Iron Maiden works because you get put in it and it gets closed and then everything pokes you because it's like the spikes are arranged so that when it's closed there's not room for a person.
Right. Oh yeah, right. No, I think that's similar to what I think the thing that I was describing wasn't an Iron Maiden necessarily, but yes, I know that that's the,
That sounds like an alternate use. Yeah, there's room for a person in there. The torture is that if, like, you have to stand perfectly still.
Yeah, if you move at all, you're gonna get spikes poked in you.
Mm-hmm, yeah, in Amnesia, the specific diary entry has a man detailing the fact that he suddenly slips after hours and a spike goes straight through his eye.
Well, there we go. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, gore on your favorite gem podcast.
Frack is very interested in how this was done. You fucking idiot, you know how it was done, you shit-faced spoilers.
Ugh, what a dick.
He wants to try and make everybody impressed, like, you know, oh, I wonder how it was done, and then have them all go, oh, I do wonder how it was done.
They also wonder. Frack, I'm amazing, the amazing Frack.
There are trapdoors on the floor, of course. That is how this happened, I guess.
Apparently they lead to the basement, and for some reason, just going down into this thing doesn't immediately lead them all to the area where Pizzazz and, Marla were taken?
Yes.
Yes. I already forgot.
Frick is still pissed because he's been just saying loudly the entire...
Rehearse!
I need to rehearse disappearing an elephant!
Sure, idiot.
But this makes him a suspect, of course, because, like, Aja and Shayna become de facto leaders of the holograms, I guess, because Jem is gone. Because they seem to have the most lines at this point, where it's just basically them being like, this is very suspicious. Frick being all just like, I need to practice. Why are we doing all this dumb shit with a girl band?
And they were like, you were against the girl bands to begin with. You killed Jem.
We cut to the basement. This is where they store the old magic props. And Kristen, here is where I have the question. Does anyone even live on Magic Island? Like, what the fuck is...
The very first, like, transition scene where they show the big spooky mansion on the island, they, like, do a pan over people, like, enjoying a ballroom or something, so... Kimber
turns into Fred from Scooby-Doo, and they all split up to cover more ground, gang, which is... Is that just something that's been attributed to Fred from Scooby-Doo, or is that just a common trope?
No, I think it's a Fred thing. You know, he's the leader there.
Rhea speaks with a voice that does not sound like Rhea, as she, Shayna, and Devin, and Stormer's here too, I'm pretty sure, all see a very sassily posed cardboard cutout of Jem inside a cage.
Rhea might be an idiot.
Rhea might be a dumbass because she has to walk into the... At least Kristen, I was under the impression that all of them were going to walk into the cage, but that does not happen.
No, Rhea goes to caress this very still, very 2D Jem.
And she has to touch the cardboard cutout. She's like, Jem, what happened? Are you all right? Oh!
Oh shit, this is not a real person. You'd think I would notice. Maybe she has, like, really bad depth perception or something.
Maybe she only sees in 2D, yeah.
It's possible. She is a cartoon.
But nobody decided to go, Rhea, don't go in there, stop.
Now she gets locked in this cage, it spins around, and then there's a tiger.
Yeah, and the tiger jumps out immediately and starts attacking everyone before going after Stormer, and Stormer assumes that Rhea is an animorph or something, that she is this tiger, and it's attacking her because she's a misfit, and she's like, whoa, Rhea, no hard feelings, right?
That was one of my favorite things in the episode. This, like, general sequence of events, Rhea speaking to a cardboard cutout as if it's a person, and then Stormer bargaining for her life with the tiger.
Devin assures Stormer, that is merely a tiger, it is not your friend Rhea, let me just magic, and then shoots magic at the tiger, and it starts coming after them, and we end segment 2 here, Kristen, with a badly animated tiger face.
And they're going, your magic's not doing anything, which is weird, because when we come back at segment 3, the magic works.
Segment 3 starts, tiger attack still in progress here. Devin is just firing more and more magic until the tiger is just like, alright, I'll go back into the cage. Okay, fine, Jesus, okay.
Leave me and my horrible ugly face alone.
Everyone else runs over, and Kimber fills them in on what just happened. They were playing tag with the kitty!
Kimber's such a fucking loser.
And Kimber immediately implicates Frick again, and here's where Shane is just like, yeah, even though Shayna was the one who was basically perpetrating Frick as, like, it's not like she just realized, wait a minute, it might be Frick.
Yeah, whatever. Shayna just trying to pile on the heat, I guess.
Frick has no idea what they're talking about. He takes out a... This is so stupid. He pulls out a handkerchief to wipe his brow, and he's just like, oh, what's this? Whoa! As he, like, starts pulling out the endless handkerchief, and then throws it, and somehow it covers Devin, Aja, and Roxy, and all of them get fucking disappeared.
And it's like, okay, cool. Now we definitely think it's Frick.
Shayna, Stormer, Kimber, and Jetta, I believe, are the only ones left, and they are gonna kick Frick's ass. And as Frick is, like, stepping backwards, he's using Frack as a human shield.
Frack says as Frick starts to run away, if you are guilty, I'll get you a good lawyer.
Oh, but.
So they're running away.
I wrote in my notes that Jetta is here as well, and I realized that Jetta had not said a word yet in this episode. She gets 2 lines, and both of them are pretty good, I think. I know we'll come across...
They were on a pretty short leash this episode.
Frack leads Frick into some dungeon area that leads to a dead end as well. So here at this point, I don't know why Frack is leading the way, especially when it gets to a dead end, but the remaining girls approach slowly, and we see a cannon, and I wrote, the cannon blasts at them, and then it takes a good 45 seconds for the cannon to blast at them.
Yeah, they have to have... Jetta finally gets to speak. She's like, what's that noise?
And then the cannon fires at them, and I don't know... I don't know what's going on with this cannon, Kristen, because...
It's fake magic bullshit.
Did Jetta say that it just fired balloons and confetti line?
It's fake magic bullshit.
It just fired balloons and confetti!
Right.
So, they all fall through the floor at this point, too, because I guess that was just a distraction. And
no, it's a fake wall.
Well, no, I know they go through the fake wall. They get blasted through a fake wall, and then they're just kind of like...
and then they slide through the floor.
Yeah, because it takes a few seconds, and it's just... I don't know. They all ride the Alpine slide straight to hell, basically.
That always looks like so much fun.
It's the Emperor's New Groove slide.
Awesome.
They all fall into cages, and this is where Jem and everyone else went, except Pizzazz and Roxy, who are in a split lady box and upside down in a straitjacket, respectively.
Yep. Okay, Frack.
I don't know how Frack hung Roxy from the ceiling, but he did.
Yep.
Frick basically says that proves that he's innocent because he was captured too, and then Aja's just like, but who could it have been?
It was Frack.
It was Frack. He played the assistant role, learning the greatest tricks of all the magicians so he could use them against his creators in deeply ironic ways, I guess. And he's
a flawed villain.
He is the great Frack, and he made fools of you all!
And Jem's just like, I'm not a magician.
Why do you have beef with us? Why do you have beef with the musicians? Come on.
Frack just wanted the whole show to himself, which seems a little bit crazy because for the sheer number of acts involved, I don't know if he could fill that entire time slot himself.
Kristen, I don't know how long a normal magic act runs. 15 minutes, maybe. So,
One for TV, I would say a special would be an hour.
Probably, but that's why they have a bunch of acts in between. Like, how many... Okay, so with 3 big magical acts and 2 musical acts, everybody's getting, commercials included, like, 8 minutes, probably.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if the Holograms and the Misfits only got to play one song, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because, I mean, they do...
One of their 1-minute songs.
They do only play one song, so...
Yeah.
Frack is going to have the magicians tell him how to perform his tricks, the alternate being he saws Pizzazz in half, which, Kristen, 2 things about this. 1, Pizzazz's stomach would open up and, like, chomp his hands like it's the thing.
Okay.
If he tried doing that. And 2, everyone would invite Pizzazz's death. Probably even the Holograms.
Worth pointing out, this exact thing happened in American Horror Story Freak Show.
What? It's just like, tell me your magic tricks, or I'm gonna saw a lady in half?
Okay, not that exact. It was, hey, I'm Neil Patrick Harris playing a guest character. I'm a little bit bonkers, but you guys don't know it yet. Hey, I really like you guys, and I want to be part of your show. How can I have someone volunteer so I can show them my sewing someone in half trick? And then one girl who was pretending to be a clairvoyant to spy on the freak show was like, oh, well, everyone's kind of mad at me now, so maybe if I volunteer for this, they won't be as mad at me. And Neil Patrick Harris literally saws her in half. And she dies.
Good one, idiot.
Yep, nice job, Neil Patrick Harris.
Devin breaks. Devin's the first to break, and he, on behalf of everyone, goes, oh, we'll tell.
Which is nice of them.
Nice of them to not kill Pizzazz in this instance, but Marla and Frick didn't bother giving him anything. We cut to Frack at this point, Kristen. He is wearing a much slimmer version of Frick's suit with his top hat. He has Marla's medallion and Devin's staff, so he's all
magicked up.
He's got all the Millennium items, Kristen.
Oh no.
The music and magic special is starting, and aren't there stagehands who would be like, wait a second, where the hell is everyone?
Yeah, no one got to do a dress rehearsal. I know we bring that up a lot in this show. If you don't get to do your dress rehearsal, you shouldn't be allowed to perform.
There should be a lady with, like, a headset on that's just like, all right, Devin's coming out first. Where the fuck is Devin? Why, nobody has seen Devin in hours. What the hell?
And then Frack comes up and he's like, the whole show is me now. And then all of the producers go, no.
They go, you're under arrest.
Yeah, you made everyone else disappear. When he gets on stage, as we are going here, though, before he leaves, he says he replaced all of everyone's skeleton keys, so they're not going to be able to pick the locks, which is not how a key works. He does say on stage that, well, I'm sorry, but everyone else mysteriously disappeared.
Ain't that magical of them. Anyway, I'm the great Frack.
Here I am. It's Frack's time. Frack show time.
Showtime Frack.
Ragtime Frack.
Frack also phases through a door when he leaves, which I don't know why he did that.
Great and good.
I would like to assume it's an animation error, and they just put in a magic sound anyway. I want to know, Kristen, how did the audience get to Magic Island? Where is Magic Island? We don't even know.
In international waters, which makes all of this murder legal.
What if it's the same island from Enter the Dragon, and it's just like we had a kung fu tournament last week, but now we got a magic show.
I mean, we have to pay our mortgage somehow.
Kimber laments not being able to be a magician because apparently that's the big thing that she's taking from all of this. Is like, I'm not going to get to do my magic. Not that they're trapped in cages and might die, because Frack was even like, somebody might find you. Maybe.
Yeah, she's like, well, I might be a skeleton in the long-term future, but maybe at least I'll be a magical skeleton.
Kimber finds that she still has her skeleton key from the beginning of the episode as well, and she puts it in the lock thing, and it works!
Oh, good. That loose thread.
So she goes and unlocks everyone else's cages here. Marla apologizes to Jem for being a jerk, and Frick is just like, meh, which they take as an apology.
He has lost all of his vocabulary. He just speaks in now.
It's all the hat, Kristen. He's the penguin.
Oh, good. I love Danny DeVito.
Kimber is having trouble unlocking Pizzazz from the saw box, and the key ends up, like, snapping off inside, and she's just like, whoops, I guess you're gonna be in here forever, and then after 10,000 years, you'll be free, and it'll be time to conquer Earth. Goodbye.
Nice. Grow a monster.
Roxy then runs over. I don't know how Roxy got down, Kristen.
She used some of her Philadelphia flexibility.
To get herself, 1, out of the straitjacket, and 2, not falling to the earth from the ceiling.
Oh man, I just remembered that in Roxy Rumbles. Roxy drives from Los Angeles to Philadelphia. I'm sorry, I just got paralyzed for a moment.
Get your motor running, head on the highway.
For hours and hours and hours.
What does that sign say? What is Michigan? Yeah, I'm probably close, whatever.
We're getting there. Canada.
Excuse me, ma'am, do you have a passport? Here's your passport. She punches him in the face, and then she gets arrested in international waters. Français? Oh my god, she made it to Quebec.
Como se dice?
I don't even know where the hell we are anymore.
Oh no. And that's how Roxy Rumbles ends, anyway.
Anyway, Roxy, after she gets out somehow here, she starts to grab the saw and, like, cut off the lock on the box, and Pizzazz tells her to be careful, which of course she won't be.
Nope. And Pizzazz gets, do you think it's time for Pizzazz to lose something? Or would she just regrow it?
That's the thing. Pizzazz can survive. I would say if Roxy did attempt to murder Pizzazz, she would have gotten her hand eaten by Pizzazz's scary thing stomach.
Okay, so we say by the rule of Pizzazz being immortal, everyone comes out of this unscathed.
Yes, and that's the thing. I don't think the Misfits can actually suffer injuries because Pizzazz can either bring them back to life or use herself as a human shield to stop bullets. We join Frack on stage here. We forgot to mention earlier before the thing with Kimber and the key, he was going to do the disappearing elephant trick, which I understand it's cool to have a big ol' animal disappear, and it's like,
Can I tell you about how they are doing this trick wrong?
Please.
Because I've seen some kind of weird special in the early 2000s where it's like, make the elephant disappear, this magic TV show, when everyone was like obsessed with magic. And the way it works is you have a single like curtain panel, and it's open on both sides, so you can make sure that people don't see if the elephant is just walked away.
Right.
So the entire curtain on the stage closes. And he just postures while the elephant walks away, I assume.
I'm reminded again, going back to Arrested Development, of Job sinking the boat to do the disappearing boat trick.
Yep. I sunk this elephant.
We killed the elephant and ate it.
And we sold the ivory. It's cruel.
Cruel. That damn frack. That's not just trapping and murdering magicians. He sold the ivory. What a dick.
Just unethical all around.
The curtain opens up. The elephant is gone here, but everyone else is standing there instead. And he, magics at Devin first. And
there's a magic fight, and it's stupid and goofy looking.
He has, he magics at Devin, which makes him fall over. Frickin' Marla gets shot at with, a card machine gun that's up his sleeve. And for some reason, I guess that they're powerless without their magic items here, or something.
You're on your own here, Joe. I'm so disinterested.
So Jem makes hologram duplicates of the holograms here. Magic hits one of them, and they turn into monsters. Kristen, what happened here? Where was the magic affecting the holograms, or did Synergy turn them into monsters when they got shot with the magic?
Holograms are magic.
The holograms make you see. Holograms are magic. Da, 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 da.
They're magic.
They take you to the sky. The monsters make Frack run away, and he's just like, I'm fucking out of here. See ya, assholes. And then Pizzazz grabs his collar and pulls him behind the curtains and presumably eats him or kicks his ass.
Yeah, one of the two. Maybe both.
Kicks his ass and then makes him eat it.
Haha, nerd. Eat your ass.
They put him in a straitjacket and hang him upside down for a while, forever, in hell.
You're going home with me now, says Pizzazz.
She disappears in a burst of flame and then comes back and is just like, where'd you go, Pizzazz? And she just kind of gives a knowing smirk to she gives a Jim Halpert look at the camera.
I went to hell. Anyway.
The extra holograms disappear, and Devin got to see that Jem was controlling the illusions, and he's just like, I have to know. You can go ahead and just say, hey, oh, Devin, whatever, I don't want to hang out with you, but I want to know how'd you do it? How'd you do it, Jem?
How do you do the things you do? Abracadabra. And of course, Joe, a good magician never reveals her secrets. Fucko.
Oh, song number 3 of the evening, which we'll be playing for you right now. Music is magic.
Music is magic. Nothing can compare. Everybody starts to rock when music's in the air. Music is magic. Music makes you whole. Music is magic. It wraps itself around you, filling up your soul. Music is magic. Cuts through sadness like a knife. Wondrous and mystical. Music is magic. Something of a miracle. Sweet, sweet magic. Music is the sweet, sweet sound of life. Music is magic. Music sets you free. Music is magic. It lets you see the world the way it ought to be. Music is magic. Music makes you fly. Music is magic. It finds you when you're low and lifts you to the sky. Music is magic. Music is magic.
I don't really give a shit about this song either.
Kristen, I like Music is Magic. I feel like it's got its problems. I mean, this was originally used in the Battle of the Bands, was the first time. It was the big song that they played to win the Battle of the Bands, and I think that it was a good idea to use it in this context here, in a song, in an episode about magic. But
I do appreciate the high note at the end.
yes, really good at hitting those high notes is Britta Phillips, and Music is Magic is a good one, along with Glitter and Gold, which I believe was said to be the one where it's the highest note she hits in the series in Glitter and Gold.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's dancing. Not a lot happens. I mean, some stuff happens in this. There's kind of plot things happening maybe in the episode in this. Whatever. Jem appears at 50% opacity over Devin's face, and Marla is watching with a tear running down her cheek, and I guess this is, hey, remember that Marla and Devin are apparently into each other, I guess.
Well, at the very least, Marla is into Devin, because I'm not sure he's even spoken to her this episode.
A handkerchief turns into a rainbow trail bird. Devin gets hit with some beam from Marla's medallion, and then they kiss. Did she brainwash him, Kristen?
That's not okay.
Hey, don't brainwash people with magic.
It's unethical. Again, these magicians, God, what scumbags.
Somebody write the book of ethics for magicians. Jesus Christ.
Right? Seriously.
A bookcase spins and all the holograms go flying. They all jump up and bow in triumph as the big high note plays, and all is well that ends well, and the song ends. The song ends. The song ends. Whatever. Jem is curious what happened to the Misfits since they were supposed to perform too. Apparently, nobody bothered to check what happened with the Misfits until the very end of the show.
No, they just assumed that they were torturing Frack.
They find the Misfits tied up and gagged with a note that says, "We'll meet again, signed, the Great Frack."
They won't.
I guess you'd have to be a great magician to keep those four quiet. Ha 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 ha.
The man who kidnapped them escaped and tied up 4 people.
Oh, but at least they have a good sense of humor about the Misfits. About the Misfits getting tied up, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
I'm mocking the Misfits in their vulnerable position.
So that was Music is Magic, Kristen. I gotta tell you, it sucks. The episode sucks.
Oh yeah, had a few bright spots of just funny shit. One of the things I forgot to bring up when it did happen is the magic zapping the tiger. There's a really good piece of voice acting there where Kimber, I think at that point, to let Devin know that it's not working, literally goes, it's not working!
She does do that, I forgot. Yeah,
She sounds so worried.
Somebody gets all sing-songy about it.
Uh-huh. So there's that, the dumb shit with the cardboard cutout and Rhea, Stormer talking to the tiger.
Again, I think that any episode of Gem is going to have bright spots in it, but goddamn Paul Dini, get your shit together. Goddamn animation department.
Does he do any more episodes?
Get your shit together. No, but he actually, one thing I did note is he wrote something of like 12 episodes for He-Man, which 2 or 3 of those dealt with magic as well.
Jesus Christ. Cool it with the hobbies.
But, I mean, it was okay. Music is Magic. I don't want to... It's
just let's mediate on it.
So is Music is Magic, Kristen, is it worse than... What would the worst episode of the season be so far, and is it Aztec Enchantment?
Is the treasure hunt worse?
That's the thing. Among those 3 episodes, I definitely found the least entertainment value in Music is Magic.
Yeah, it, can't seem to hold a thread at all.
I don't know. It's weird. Keep a lookout for the season 2 CWTAJ, where Music is Magic may show up a lot in a negative sense.
Yeah, we're gonna have to collect our thoughts before the CWTAJ.
Then again, we've got a lot more episodes to deal with here, where there's a lot of dumb shit that happens.
Yeah, so who knows. A lot of good episodes still coming up, though.
Now is the point in the evening where I will list off all of the fun contact things where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTAPod. You can follow me at Octopus, that's AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirl, TM, like trademark.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio. Leave a rating, give a review, if you like. You can also reach us Gmail, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us how to properly address cardboard cutouts of your friends and a scheme that you may have to successfully saw Pizzazz in half. Spoiler, it's impossible.
Yeah, the 2 parts would just stay animated.
Next week, Kristen, we have the jazz player. It is old meets new, except it's not.
Is this one different than where they collect all of the different jazz players, or is this the same one?
This is that same episode, and Pizzazz plays trapped over a PA system in a baseball stadium or something like that.
Nice. Okay, I like it.
And we get the first saxophone in a Misfits song in a very long time.
Fantastic.
Saxtastic.
Saxtastic.
Anyway, join us.
Fantastic.
Tanfastic. Anyway, join us when we will listen to the jazz player. I believe Take a Hike Jack is played as well in this.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate Take a Hike Jack so much.
I love it.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Fuck you, Joe.
For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And join us next week when we will talk about some more Gem and the holograms.
Checks in the mail.